cominciano gli applausi per Tiffany Cromwell.
Hi, I'm Tiffany Cromwell from the Canyon Sham Racing team, and I'm here today to give you some exercises for stability and core, which is very important when you're on the bike because your core is your central point of the body that helps keep everything working, everything in check, and helps give you a lot more power on the bike and stability, and when it comes to cornering, handling, and basically anything that is to do with cycling. So the first exercise is the single leg squat. For me, I like this the most because squats are very important for bike riders in terms of, it's working the legs, but with the single leg, it also works stability and ankle strength because being a non-weight bearing sport, a lot of the time bike riders have weak ankles. So this is a good way to help try and, gain a bit more strength. So then even with your pedaling motion, it's more smooth, and just in general, so for day-to-day life, it's good to help build the ankle strength. So it's pretty simple. You use one leg. I like to always do it on my weaker leg first because it's also about trying to create balance within your body. Often you'll have a stronger leg and a weaker leg, so always start with the weaker leg first. One leg, you bend down so your leg is at a 90-degree angle, and then come back up and repeat 10 times, and then do the same on the other leg. And ideally you do it 3 times over. A variation, if you'd like to make it a little bit more challenging, is get a bozu, which is the half Swiss ball. So then it creates more instability on the ground to help focus your core, because you need both to keep your ankle and leg strong, but being off center and having to balance means you're also having to work your core too to make sure you stay straight. And ideally everything is in one motion from your head to your toe. Everything should be straight. You shouldn't be to one side. And again, it's just simple up and down movements, and ideally 10 times repeated 3 times over. We now move to the floor and we grab a Swiss ball, and we're going to do the Swiss ball plank. So we all know how good the plank is. If you can do any exercise when it comes to core exercise, do the plank because it really works every muscle within the core. Your front, your back, your obliques, your legs, your hamstrings and your quads, and even your arms. We choose to use the Swiss ball because I think it adds an extra element of stability and control, because having your legs raised and you have the ability where you can easily move from side to side. It's teaching you awareness to try and keep it straight, and ultimately you want to have the legs on the Swiss ball, arms straight down in front of you, and you're in one line. You don't want to have your bum raised at all. It wants to be straight. You don't want to have a saggy back. The key is to be very straight and utilizing that core and just being controlled. And ideally you'll do it for 1 minute, but if that's too much, start with 30 seconds and then build up 30 seconds one time, 45, a minute. If you want, you can extend it even further. If you would like to challenge yourself even further, grab your bozu and then you put that in front, and ideally your legs are on the Swiss ball, your hands on the bozu, and it's the same thing. The key is control, keeping everything in line, and a holding again for 1 minute. And doing it with the advanced exercise, this one really challenges your core and trying to stay in one line, because there's so much movement with your legs, with your arms. And for me, if you can do it properly, it's an amazing exercise because you really feel everything working, and it strengthens your core, tenfold, I would say. So we're staying with the Swiss ball now, but we're turning onto our back and we're doing the Supine Bridge on the Swiss ball. So you'll start flat on your back with your legs on top of the Swiss ball. They can be straight, and what we're going to do, we're going to raise our glutes up, so then you're in one line, and then you just want to keep bringing your hips up. And so the simple version is just with 2 legs, pull yourself up, so then your legs are at 45-degree angle, shoulders are still on the floor, but the rest of your body is raised up, and you're ideally making one line again. We don't want to see your back collapsing, we don't want to see your hips too high. It's all about having everything straight and in line. To challenge yourself even further, we do it with a single leg. So single leg, you're pulling yourself up with one leg, with your other leg in the air, straight, and then you come back down. And we can do this 10 times on each leg. This one, it works all your back muscles, and then also your hamstrings, your glutes, and even your calves. I would say it's an extremely challenging exercise, particularly on the single leg, but it's great because it's utilizing or working all the backside of your body. And again, they're all areas that we use on the bike every day. So it's important to make sure we're not missing out any muscles when we're doing our stability exercises. So we're now going to move to an exercise using a band. Bands are another great tool that you can travel with, as they're very versatile, they're very easy to pack into your bag. You can get varying weights of softer ones, easier ones for greater resistance. So this exercise, we're just doing side steps. So you put the band between your legs, shoulder width apart, and you're doing a controlled walk side by side. So stepping further, and then bring your legs back to shoulder width apart. Further, together. Do 10 in one direction, 10 in the other direction. This is working. It works your core a little bit, but it's more your ITB muscles, all through your hips, your glutes. It's another great exercise to strengthen the muscles in that, which, as we know, a lot of the power is generated through the glutes, through the legs, through the hamstrings, through the quads. So this is just a really great exercise to challenge your side muscles, and it's pretty simple. So don't be controlled and don't let the band pull you back in. It's about being the same motion as you step out as you bring your leg back in. And then the final exercise for today is push-ups with dumbbells. You can choose any kind of weight. I normally like to have a little bit of resistance, so not too light, so you get some force. For me, I'd say 5 to 6 kilograms. Maybe you want to go high, you want to go 10, maybe you want to go lighter in the 1 or 2 kilograms. But the motion is a simple push-up down so that you're pretty close to the ground, and when you come back up, you pull one up, arm to the side and back down. Again, change sides, and you can do 10 to 15 depending on how many you want. And this is, again, it's another exercise more so for your back, your posterior chain. It works a little bit the arm muscles, so again, you don't want to utilize too big of weights because we don't want to end up with massive shoulders and arms. But it's another general core exercise that works a lot of the body, because not only is it working the arms, it works the front of the core, the posterior chain in the back, your legs as well, and it rounds out the body to do everything, to cover everything within the stabilization circuit.